Okay, now the story of Fight Night Champion. Yes, that's right. There is a story in Fight Night Champion. It starts off with Andre Bishop, who is a rising middleweight fighter in boxing, and he's really doing good. He's really rising in the ranks, and just out of nowhere, he gets thrown in jail, and he does his time, comes back out of the jail, and wants to go and try to regain his glory, and this time he's going to do it in heavyweight class. So that's really the story. He does that, and on his way he meets other characters. I guess I always say that he meets other characters, even though he already knew these characters, like his Mickey-esque trainer from like Rocky, and this girl played by Eliza Dushku. I forgot her name, Megan, I think. And yeah, there you go. That's a story. It's a rise and fall and rise again story, and we've seen that millions of times in boxing. But it's pretty good. You actually kind of like the characters and the main character. Whatever. It's pretty good. I like the story. Let's go on to the sound. Okay, now the sound of the game is actually really, really good. The voice acting is very, very good. Not fantastic or anything, but pretty good for the 2.5 hours the story is there for. The main character, Andre Bishop, he does a good job. Alyssa Dushku plays Megan, she does good. The guy that voices Mickey, the Mickey character pretty much, is really good. Everybody else is good. The voice acting overall is really good. The sound effects are awesome, actually. I was about to say pretty good. No, they're actually really, really good. The punching, all the punch sound effects, when someone falls to the mat, every time you just see slobber fall everywhere, you just hear blah, 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 blah. And, yeah, I know that sounds retarded, but yeah, you do hear all these sound effects that you in a lot of games you just don't hear. And this one, it really just takes the time to, you want to hear the slobber freaking come out of his mouth. Here you go, blah, blah, blah. And it does a great job. It really does. The sound effects and the sound overall, the voice acting, is just fantastic. It really is. So let's go on to the graphics. Okay, now the graphics in the game are, I'll just say right here, they look amazing. Now, let me tell you about the gripes I have with it. Mostly is not the environments, but I would say the crowd in the game. Of course, when you do a fighter or something like that, like this, you have to always take liberties with the crowd and make them look terrible. But they don't look terrible in this game. They actually look pretty good considering how you would think it would look. But it still doesn't look great. I mean, it's definitely not. It doesn't look as good as the fighters that you actually play as or you fight against. But still, it doesn't look bad. That's the only gripe I have, though, is that the crowd is still not that great looking, but that's because there's so many people in the crowd. But, I mean, come on, man. If you played stuff like Heavy Rain, where right in the beginning of the game you're in a mall with thousands of people, it's just, why can't you just have that? I mean, come on. Come on, man. Heavy Rain had a pretty big budget, so did this game. I'm pretty sure this game has a big budget. It has over 50 licensed freaking boxers. Come on, it has to have a pretty big budget. Now, with that being said, I'll just say right here, the character models for all the fighters and even the characters that you come across in champion mode are amazing. The fighters just look great. The effects that are on the fighters, like the sweat glistening on their bodies, which, that might sound a little weird coming from me, but, I mean, it looks all great. I mean, it really does look great. The blood freaking spewing from people's mouths. Every time you punch someone, it goes in slow motion when they're about to fall down. You just see their freaking face jiggle around, and then they fall to the ground and flobble everywhere, and it looks great. It really does. The animations, the character models, they all look great, and overall, really some of the best out there for a fighter. The environments also look pretty good, like the rings, or the different rings that you come across, and all the environments you visit in the champion mode look really good. But really the main thing in this game is the fighters, and they all look fantastic. And even all the other characters, like the characters you come across in champion, like I said, look really good too. But really, the fighters, when you're fighting and stuff, and you watch them in motion beating the shit at each other, it looks awesome. It really does. The graphics are amazing in this game. So let's go on to the gameplay. Okay, now the gameplay in Fight Night Champion stays remainly the same as all the other Fight Night games, where it's like you use the right thumbstick to fight, where you use your arms to do hooks and jabs and all that, and that's really cool. I mean, you've seen it in EA Sports MMA, and it's really good. But I use just the face buttons, so that's fine. I mean, it's the same kind of stuff. You duck, weave, freaking punch the crap out of people. I'm not big on boxing, so I'm just using random words. I don't even know if these are the right words to say duck, weave, and all that stuff. But you block, you duck, you weave, you do somersaults and loop-de-loops, and you beat the crap out of the other enemy. And it remains largely the same. But there is a bunch of different stuff in this game, though. The new mode they put in the game, probably the newest mode, is the champion mode, which is of course the story mode like I was talking about. In the story, it's a lot of fun, it really is, but it's a little too short. It's about 2.5 to 3 hours, and you just go through it, doing a couple of little training mini games here and there, and pretty much just fighting guys that you don't really know, you don't really know who they are. I mean, you probably do if you're a big boxing fan, but I don't know them. And, you know, the champion mode is a lot of fun. The legacy mode is a career mode, and if you played career in any other fighting game, it's pretty much the same. This one is actually a little bit more in-depth because you can actually upgrade your character like immensely, and you can also create your own character. And I like it. I only played a little bit of it so far. I've played like 2 matches, but I do like it. I really do. Legacy mode is really, really fun. Some modes in the game also include Fight Now, which is of course you versus the AI. Any AI opponent you pick, you could just go throughout the game and play that if you really want. But you know there's not much there. And also training games, which is pretty much go in there and try to get as much points as you can within about 2 minutes. And that's pretty cool. You just have to beat the shit out of the opponent and make sure you don't get beat the shit out of or you'll lose points. And it's pretty cool. It's like a score attack kind of thing. I don't know if that was in round 4, but it's kind of cool in here. And of course you have multiplayer in the game, which is multiplayer, so that means I didn't play that much of it. I played one game and got my ass beat, and I was like, okay, it's multiplayer. It's good if you love boxing games, but if you're like really into boxing games, I should say. I really like boxing games, but you know, I'm not gonna play multiplayer because of course people are much better than me and I suck. So, you know, multiplayer is good though. And overall, I really enjoyed the hell out of this game. I thought it was actually great. I thought it was really fun. If you're a big boxing fan, then you already pretty much bought it. I'm pretty sure you're playing it right now besides actually watching this review. But if you're just a fan, if you just like boxing, I should say, not even a fan of it, you just like boxing, then you should actually go and rent this because it's a lot of fun. Multiplayer is there, and if you're a big multiplayer fan, then you're going to like it. I'm not, so I'm not going to keep playing it because I'm terrible at it and I'm not very patient with things like this. But overall, I thought the game was a lot of fun. If you're a big boxing fan, then go buy it now. If you really like boxing, then go rent it. Check the written review in the description below for the score and the score for each section that I talked about in this. Thank you and goodbye.
A first round KO.
Ladies and gentlemen, by knockout, your winner, Batman Henderson.